I'm Jacqueline Strempel. I'm your host for this evening, and I help new mums master their C-section recovery. And today I wanted to just come on and give you guys 3 breathing techniques that can help you restore your core. And so what I wanted to let you know is that this video is for you if you are a new mom who is recovering from a C-section, if you are any mom that has not done exercise in a very long time, or anybody who is recovering from an abdominal surgery, whatever that may be, whether it be a hysterectomy, or maybe you were operated on to get a cancerous lump out, you know, any of those things. These breathing techniques that I'm going to teach you today are gentle enough and restorative enough, and they are going to help you to just restore those really deep muscles that have been weakened for whatever reason, whether it be surgery, whether it be carrying a baby for 9 months, or having like a terrible labor, or even just a really long labor. No matter what, your diaphragm is weak, your pelvic floor muscles are weak, and your abdominal muscles are weak. So you need to really take care of yourself and do gentle restorative exercises to help you strengthen those areas again. Now, before I get into the topic for today, I just want to say hey to those of you that watch me regularly. Thanks for the support. Would love for you to write in the comments where you're tuning in from today. And if you can choose the flag emoticon, I would really appreciate that. I am living through everyone else at the moment after having a baby, and if you know me well, I love to travel. And I haven't been able to do that for a while, so please show me some flags. And for those of you, if it's your first time watching me, hi, pop a 1 in the comments below, and then I can introduce myself more formally. And you may have noticed there is a link in the description above. And the reason I've put that link there is because, as I said before, I work with new moms who are recovering from a C-section. So I developed a guide to help those moms recover properly, because I just feel like there's not enough information given to us after having a C-section. And I've heard a lot of nightmare stories from people about jumping back into exercise either before the doctor gave them permission or after the doctor gave them permission, but literally jumping back into the strength training routine exactly the same as they did just before they gave birth. And that is not something I would recommend. I am not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure your doctor would also not recommend that either. So I developed that guide, so if you know anybody who is recovering from a C-section, is planning for a C-section, maybe you had one in the past and never actually got back into exercise again, you can click that link above the video and it will take you to the free guide that I developed to help you through your recovery. And now on to today. So I'm going to speak to you about I'm going to teach you 3 breathing techniques that you can use and you can start implementing. They're very simple to follow and you can do it anywhere. So for those of you that are recovering from a C-section and don't have the strength or are in too much pain to do this exercise breathing technique out of bed, you can do it from lying down in your bed. When you do get a little bit more strength, you can now sit on the edge of your bed and do those exercises as well, or the breathing techniques that I'm going to show you. And then you can, as you gain your strength and your pain starts to fade, then you can start maybe doing them on the floor in an upright seated position, maybe against the wall to support your back at first. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it. For those of you that are not recovering, you know, go to a park, sit under a tree, and just take some time for you. Pay attention to you and what's happening in your body as you sit there. So I just wanted to get into that a little bit more. Breathing is such a natural thing. How many of us actually think about it on a day-to-day basis, or a second to second, minute to minute, hour to hour? When's the last time you just sat there and thought about your breathing? Okay, and I'm not saying, oh my gosh, like I can't believe you haven't done this before. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm doing is just bringing it to your awareness so that you can, maybe the next time when it pops into your head, you can be like, oh yeah, what was that Jacqueline brought on about again? Oh, let me pay attention to my breathing. Because the thing is not being aware to your breathing. Okay, you can't be aware of your breathing every second of every day because ain't nobody got time for that. But take the time when it pops into your head to just pay attention to it. And when you pay attention to it, think about how you feel. Pay attention to your breath. Are you taking deep breaths? Are you taking shallow breaths? Maybe you're really stressed and you're like breathing so quickly. You know, breathing has been symptoms of panic attacks for people as well. Like they feel like they're losing their breath, shortness of breath, and they need to learn how to slow their breath down to help them come out of that panic state. So there are different ways that you can utilize your breath, that you can pay more attention to your breath. And if you have ever been to an exercise class, whether it be yoga, Pilates, Zumba, whatever, have you ever heard the instructor saying, breathe in, breathe out? Okay, if you are one that's into strength training, I'm sure you utilize your breaths to help you get that next rep in or to lift more weight than you could the day before. If you are a runner, I just got back into running, yay for me, after, I couldn't believe it, almost 2 years of not running. But anyways, I was thinking about it today as I was running and how often did I pay attention to my breath while I was running? Not that often, but when it came into my head, I thought about it and I was able to push that a little bit further. So it's really important to just take some time and pay attention to your breath. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so I want to actually show you and go through with you step by step the techniques. So then as you watch the video, you can do it with me. The first technique, I want to call it a balloon technique. So what it is, I'm just going to go on my knees so you can see my belly as I do this. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up. So when you breathe in, you're going to think about a balloon and your belly filling up the balloon. And then when you breathe out through pursed lips, as you deflate the balloon back in. So literally what you're doing is your belly button is going out and then back in. But you are doing that and you are guiding your breath to help you to do that and in turn strengthening those muscles. So I'm just going to demonstrate for you. So I'm going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, and at first you could just do that maybe 5 times. Breathe in, fill up the balloon, and breathe out. And let that balloon deflate. Okay, and you'll be amazed actually when you do these techniques that you start to feel relaxed. You start to let go of things that you were holding on to, whatever they may be. So it's not only good to help restore your core, it's also good to help restore your mind. Here is the second one. I like to call it 5, 5, 5. So all you're going to do is you're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, you're going to hold it for 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 5 seconds. So I'm going to do that with you now. I'm going to demonstrate for you once, and then I will guide you through to do that another couple of times on your own as you go through the video. So, ready? So what you're going to do is breathe in for 5 seconds. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's let's do that 2 more times together. Okay, ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that one I like to call 5, 5, 5. There are many different versions of that one, but I just like the 5, 5, 5. I think it's an even number, it's simple, easy to remember. The last one is a technique that isn't quite as simple as the last 2 that I showed you, but you can keep it really simple, and it's a technique I learned through my yoga practice and my yoga instructing. And I'm going to call it a spine strengthening technique. So I'm going to sit down cross-legged to the side so you can see me. Okay, a lot of us tend, when we sit like this cross-legged, some of us can't even, which is fine. If you can't, then just do this on your knees. Because some of us have like really tight hamstrings and can't actually sit like this. So a lot of us, we tend to like slouch when we're in this position. So this spine strengthening breathing technique also helps a little bit with your posture, and it's again helping to restore the core. And what it is essentially is, as you breathe in, you're going, so allow your abdomen to be as relaxed as it possibly can. And as you do inhale, slowly just think about a movement coming from the bottom of your spine, straightening your spine all the way up into the base of your skull. So as you inhale, then you slowly lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, just let it go. Try your best to keep the abdomen as relaxed as possible as you do this breathing technique, because the idea is to now strengthen the spine. Okay, the spine is obviously very important in helping to restore your core. So there are a few different ways that you can do this technique. You can do it all the way up with one inhale and all the way down with one exhale. The other way you could do it is, as you inhale, go half the spine, and as you exhale, blow out, and then the next inhale all the way up, and as you exhale, out. And the other way is, if you're really in tune with your body and you know the anatomy quite well, you can picture the different vertebrae in the spine from the bottom all the way to the top, and have that picture in your head and think about your breath moving through those different vertebrae as you lengthen your spine. So that would mean that you might only go up 2 vertebrae with the first inhale and exhale, then go up 3 and down, 4 and down. So it's entirely up to you. You're the one that's going to be guiding that technique. It's your breath, so you need to follow your body and what it's telling you. So I'm just going to show you halfway up. So you inhale, and then all the way up, inhale, okay, so just play around with that a little bit, with that technique, and the more you do it, the more in tune with your body you will become. So the more you will be able to picture your vertebrae and the different parts of your spine as you're breathing. And the visualization with that technique is very strong. And it's really important, I just want to emphasize this again, why it's so important to restore your core before you jump into major exercise. And the main thing is to prevent injury. A lot of women have an issue after being pregnant, so obviously your abdomen expands and opens up like that as your baby grows. And then when you give birth, the muscles slowly start to come back together. But if you put too much strain on the abdominal region before the muscles have managed to make it back together, there is a huge possibility that you will cause permanent damage. And that damage is called diastasis recti, which a lot of people, I'm sure anyone who has been pregnant has heard about this, and I'm sure there are a few of you that it did happen to. So essentially what you want to do is strengthen these muscles that are underneath, the deeper muscles, by doing restorative exercises such as breathing techniques, along with a few others, which I do have in the guide, which is in the link above this description if you want to have a look. It's a free guide. And basically what you need to do is strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, the abdominal muscles, and the diaphragm, because all of those things have weakened throughout your pregnancy. And if you had a C-section, even further, because you have been cut into through muscle, through tissue, you know, and you don't think about it. They're like, the doctor's like, oh, you may have to have a C-section. You're like, okay, so you think about it in your head, I might have to have a C-section. This is my experience. Might have to have a C-section, okay, but I really want to have a natural birth. Okay, let me just think about that in my head, and it's there at the back of my brain, basically. And then the day comes, boom, by the way, you have to have a C-section. Okay, 2 hours later, done. And you don't actually have time to process in your head what is happening to your body during this C-section. And the doctor has cut through, you know, your skin, your muscle, you know, and tugged and pulled, and there's an incision this way, and then this way, and then this way, and then this way. That's a lot. That is a lot. It does take time to recover from that. And, you know, first and foremost, let your body heal. Can you start doing these breathing techniques straight away? Yes, you can. You can do them in your bed. They are very gentle. You're using your breath. You don't even have, I wouldn't even do the spine strengthening one at first. I would literally just do the first one that I explained, the balloon technique. I would literally just start with that until you feel strong enough to at least sit on the edge of the bed. Comfortably, like pain-free, okay? If you haven't had one yet, I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just, you know, it's important to know these things. Lastly, I have some homework for you guys. The homework is so easy. All I want you to do is over the next couple of days, pay more attention to your breath, to your breathing patterns. What is happening? What do you feel like? Are your breaths shallow? Are they deep? So by paying attention to your breath, you're just thinking about it. Just like, what's actually happening while I'm breathing? What's my stomach doing? What are my lungs doing? Okay? Just things to think about. After you've done that homework, come back to this video and write in the comments, you know, if you had any aha moments, what it felt like. Maybe you just think it's completely boring and you just like, why are you making me do this? Whatever comment you have, I will not take offense. Just pop it below. I would love to hear your feedback on that. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really had fun sharing this with you. Feel free to share this video with anybody who you think might benefit. You can just write their name in the comments below to tag them. And that's a wrap. I will see you on Thursday. I've been doing some recipes now. Thursday, same time, same station, and I will be demonstrating how to make a cauliflower pizza crust. I hope that you guys all are having a fantastic Tuesday, and I will see you next time. Bye! Take care of yourself!